in St. Louis. I love living here. I call it home now.
And what a career it has been. He has the 5th highest quarterback rating of all time. No one has gotten to 15,000 yards faster. But with the big contract comes bigger expectations.
That's why we have to go out and do it. And then, in the spring and the summer, we talked about how good we can be and how good we're going to be. And I said all along, unless we go do it, then talk is cheap.
And he may seem to be a soft-spoken man, but last year he made it clear he is a leader in the locker room when he felt a few players were dogging him.
I care, but I know there's some guys in here that don't care. It's obvious, and they can say what they want. You can ask who it is. I'm not going to point anyone out.
Those are steps that we as a team and our individual leaders of this team got to take to get us, get us up, all of us up a notch. And I think, I think those were all positive signs. Even though it was in kind of a down, maybe for a day or two, it wasn't real positive around here. But I think sometimes you got to, get a wake-up call on it.
And he hopes this year he can lead them to the promised land.
Super Bowl, that's all I want to do. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I think that's first and foremost with all the guys. But as a quarterback, your personal goals and team goals are the exact same.
So that's not far out of reach to say Super Bowl.
Got to start somewhere, But
now, where those Super Bowl hopes start for Marc Bulger are with the guy behind him on the football field. That's Steven Jackson. If he can remain healthy and put up the kind of numbers he did last season, the Rams could have the most prolific quarterback-running back combo in the NFL.
1st and 10 from the 38. Steven Jackson with all kinds of room.
I'm a gladiator. I'm here, to go out in my own glory.
He had over 2,300 yards of total offense last season. But for number 39, those numbers are nothing.
Breakout season is the season I'm about to have.
So how many yards is he looking for?
I do intend to put up 2,500 and, on our way to Arizona.
Do you put a touchdown number on that? Or?
Touchdown will come with 2,500.
And though some may mistake his confidence for cockiness,
I must be the greatest!
Jackson says his swagger is a necessity at his position.
If I was a guy that shied away and wanted split time, then you'd be looking for the future back.
And 2,500 yards is not unrealistic, since he is also a good receiver out of the backfield.
Being a running back that just runs the ball, I think it's pretty historic. The game's passed that guy up. You got to be able to catch the ball and run the ball, and also block.
And his personal goal is not self-centered. He knows his success will bring the team success.
I experienced a lot of things. I taste success, but now I want to, take it to the next level. That's getting the Rams to the playoffs, and I want to be a major part of it.
And he will be a big part of it. But the Rams did draft Brian Leonard to give Jackson a breather every now and then. But after touching the football 436 times last season, it doesn't seem like Jackson wants to be on the sidelines at all.
Hey, they drafted Leonard to give you a break. It sounds like you don't feel like you need a break. So.
He'll give me a break in practice.
Now, Jackson may not want to come out of the football game, but to keep his legs fresh, he's going to have to. And a rookie appears to be a pretty good fill-in.
Hopefully I can just take a couple hits off Steven, get in there on some third downs. I'll maybe even be a fullback for him sometimes, block for him. So just get in there, help out, catch the ball a little bit, run the ball a little bit, and hopefully do the best I can.
The most talented position on this Rams football team is at wide receiver. Isaac Bruce is a future Hall of Famer, and so too could be Torrey Holt. And just like Steven Jackson, Big Game has some big plans for 07.
1,300 plus yards, 90-something plus catches, and anywhere between 12 to 15 touchdowns.
And that isn't out of the question.
Short yardage situations. Looking for the corner. He's got Holt 2 feet down.
Big Game had 10 touchdowns. You have to. And almost 1,200 yards last season. But he's coming off of knee surgery this year. However, Torrey doesn't see that as a setback. And then there is Isaac Bruce. He may be 34, but he's coming off a 1,000-yard season and is now over 13,000 yards for his career.
However old he is, still, got a step that most receivers don't have in the league.
I don't have the same speed. I told you a long time ago in 1995, you never stay the same. You either get better or you get worse. I have better speed right now. I'm faster.
You're faster at this age than
Right.
in 1995.
Exactly.
And if you thought Jackson and Holt had lofty goals, they don't come close to Isaac's.
I am an all-pro wide receiver, NFL MVP, and NFC Offensive Player of the Year.
You believe you're an NFC MVP?
NFL MVP, NFC Offensive Player of the Year.
The only place the offense struggled last year was the red zone.
We just saw Kurt Warner and Dan Marino.
The Cardinals get a clutch sack.
So in the offseason, they brought in 6'5" free agent wide receiver Drew Bennett.
I bring a size element to the game, to outside, to inside, playing the slot, things like that. If they want to, have me, move down and block a linebacker, I feel I can do that.
And they also signed tight end Randy McMichael, who is familiar with Linehan from his days in Miami.
That's the one good thing about it is that I've been fortunate to play in this system for about 4 or 5 years now, so it's definitely not that big of a learning curve.
Those two additions should help solve the problem in the red zone. The only question now is, will there be enough footballs to go around?
It's not like, we have one guy that's going to get all the balls. Isaac and Torrey have both been getting a ton of balls throughout their career. Kevin had a year over 40 catches. I think Dane Looker had it. So there's going to be balls to go around with the addition of tight end now. Maybe a little bit less, but, it's going to be nice to have threats all over the field.
There's plenty of balls to go around, and I think this is a team on the way up.
Just don't compare them to the greatest show on turf. Not yet.
Yeah, I don't think there is a comparison. We won a title. So until we win a title, then maybe we can, let's talk then. But I don't think there's a comparison at all until I see some hardware.
There is no question that the Rams have top-notch talent at the skill positions. But in order for them to make the plays they're capable of making, the Rams will have to win the battles up front. Our Frank Cusimano has more on the Rams' offensive line.
It's an offensive line with some spice. If there's a fight on the field, guard Richie Incognito has to be somewhere close.
Wild thing, he's like that guy in that movie in Baseball Pitcher. He gonna come in, you don't know where that ball's going. Well, that's sometimes with Richie. I think he's matured in a year's time.
It's an offensive line with some spectacular athleticism with tackle Alex Barron.
Alex has the physical skills that you can't coach. He has feet as good as Orlando Pace is. He has long arms. His future is whatever Alex wants to be, he's going to be a good player if he wants to be.
But the best thing this Rams offensive line has going for them is left tackle Orlando Pace, and it's been that way for the last 8 years. Now, Pace is coming off the torn tricep injury, but he came into camp in the best shape of his life, weighing 320 pounds.
I think he's got that confidence back to stick that arm out there and use that arm. He still has those terrific feet. He's like a guy that's really smooth. He can glide.
Brett Romberg won the starting center spot, and Mark Setterstrom will start at the other guard spot opposite Richie Incognito. So, Coach Scott Linehan, what are your impressions of this group?
They're young, which is good and bad. We still got to continue to grow, but with the exception of Orlando coming back, that was a group that kind of came together and was one of the most improved groups at the end of the year for us last year. And I just see a group that will be much more cohesive, at least from a starting standpoint, than we were maybe a year ago.
We do know that for Mark Bulger, Steven Jackson, and Torrey Holt to shine, it will come down to the guys up front. For the Rams' quest for the West, I'm Frank Cusimano.
Still to come, the Rams traded for defensive end James Hall in the offseason. See why he will pay major dividends for his teammate Leonard Little. And to say the Rams secondary is young is an understatement. See why last year's top pick will have to play like a seasoned veteran when the Rams' quest for the West return.
Why should you go to Auto Tire? For great tire brands at the bottom line price. Brands you can trust like Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and more. For great tire brands at the bottom line price, you ought to go to Auto Tire, the tire pros.
If you've ever lost your phone, you know that the worst part is losing what's inside of it. It's your whole world of names and numbers. Friends, family, work. Lose your phone and you're lost.